Gold and silver set to soar. Vance's weak dollar strategy could unleash precious metals bonanza. Mr. Trump, you should ditch Elon as an advisor. Listen more to sound money advocates as well as your running mate, Mr. J.D. Vance. Elon and the Trump administration, their bromance implausible theory. But what does this have to do with silver? Elon's aforementioned companies would enjoy lower silver prices while this is still possible, and we are believers that we are getting closer to silver discovery, a time when silver is more fairly valued. The upcoming BRICS summit in Russia this October is set to be a pivotal moment in the ongoing de-dollarization efforts by major emerging economies. China, India, Russia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, and other BRICS nations have been accumulating gold at record levels, signaling a shift away from the US dollar as the dominant global reserve currency. Weaker dollar is also bullish for silver and gold. Welcome back, my friends. Real quick, I have a big announcement and an opportunity to give all of you. I'm super excited about this. I'll be interviewing Sean Kun next week. He's the CEO of one of the biggest silver miners out right now, and incredibly enough, Dolly Varden, his company, is located in the Golden Triangle, next to Hecla and some others. Already found over 65 million ounces of silver, and he's also accidentally found over 1 million ounces of gold as well as byproduct. I'm going to do a Q&A this time when I interview him, so email me your questions, info.silverslayer@gmail.com. And even more importantly, I'm giving you a source to the company. Her name is Diana Zappa. She's the woman version of Andy. She's been in the game just as long. She can answer any question you have about the company. She's interviewed everyone under the sun, knows all the big dogs. She said personally that if anyone from my audience wants to email or even call her, you can. If you want to learn how to invest or more info about the company, whatever, which is insane, and it's a huge deal. Her name is Diana Zappa. You can email her, dz@dollyvardensilver.com, or you can call her 604-762-6388. She has the most insane stories, truly a woman in the backbone of this industry, and I'm honored to be able to offer you a chance to reach out on such a personal level. So let her know you got her info from me. She'd be happy to chat. So without further ado, let's jump into this article. I will link this article in the description for you all to review yourselves. I do want to thank you so much for sitting through those announcements. So let's just jump straight into it. I think this is going to be a very interesting conversation and viewpoint, and it's definitely something to look ahead. I've been saying October and November is going to be 2 crazy months. So gold and silver set to soar. Vance's weak dollar strategy could unleash precious metals bonanza. Mr. Trump, you should ditch Elon as an advisor. Listen more to sound money advocates as well as your running mate, Mr. J.D. Vance. So let's look at this. Elon Musk and the Trump administration, their bromance and plausible theory. In the realm of political theory, a scenario has emerged regarding the potential relationship between Elon Musk and a future Trump administration. While it's important to note that there are some reading of tea leaves happening, it presents an intriguing scenario to consider. The alleged offer. According to this theory, Elon Musk has expressed interest in joining the future Trump administration as a director of efficiency. Musk and Trump have both signaled that if Trump wins, Elon will be made a formal advisor to Donald Trump. Moreover, Musk may have made substantial donations to Trump-aligned super PACs, though the exact figures remain unconfirmed. Here's the quid pro quo. X algorithm leans pro-Trump, and in return, what does Elon want? Elon Musk's company stands to benefit from those close ties to the administration. SpaceX could gain easier access to defense and aerospace contracts. The numbers here are staggering, given the U.S. defense budget is larger than the next 9 countries' defense budgets combined. Starlink could be favored for government communication projects. Tesla might have an advantage for contracts over federal government fleets. And Musk's solar roof division could experience advantages in energy policies. If such a scenario were to unfold, it could potentially influence environmental and labor policies, affect competition in various tech and energy sectors, and impact the landscape of social media and information dissemination. Now, remember though, this articles about silver, gold and silver. Keep that in mind, right? There's a lot of backstory here. And that's like when we talk about looking at something's potential, you have to look at all aspects of it, look at the variables, look at the insides and out, because you're invested into this metal because of what it could bring. So you have to look at all different things that affects the price of it. And what this article is leading to, which he's going to explain in a second, makes a lot of sense when you look at these possible scenarios. So just stick with me. So the theory proposes that Musk might leverage his ownership of Twitter to create a super Trump-friendly platform. This involves amplifying certain political narratives and or engaging in the practice known as astroturfing, all working in Trump's favor. So astroturfing is a deceptive practice that creates the illusion of widespread grassroots support for a product, policy, or cause when little genuine support exists. At its core, it involves the creation of numerous fake social media profiles, online personas, or email addresses. These fabricated accounts are used then to post similar comments, reviews, opinions across various platforms, creating the appearance of organic support. What does this have to do with silver, right? That's the meat and potatoes. You guys can read through what I just mentioned about astroturfing if you wanted. It's called the dead internet theory, actually, to go down that rabbit hole. So what does this have to do with silver? Elon's aforementioned companies would enjoy low silver prices while this is still possible. Remember, while this is still possible. And we are believers that we are getting closer to silver discovery, a time when silver is more fairly valued. Why are we getting closer to silver discovery, where price is more fairly valued, meaning silver being much more valuable than gold? Why is it 85 times cheaper, right? How is silver only $30 an ounce when it is the most scarce critical metal in the world, literally making the world go round, and there's barely enough of it, especially Elon, someone who owns SpaceX and Starlink and all these, and Tesla, all these companies that use or require boatloads of silver. How is it so cheap? Well, the fundamentals will always overweigh any type of manipulation or price suppression. That's what they mean when it's getting closer to becoming fairly valued, or its true price and value will be shining. Moreover, and this is what we're going into, and I'm going to keep talking about this more and more as we get closer to these months. The upcoming BRICS summit in Russia this October is set to be a pivotal moment in the ongoing de-dollarization efforts by major emerging economies. China, India, Russia, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Thailand, and other BRICS nations have been accumulating gold at record levels, signaling a shift away from the US dollar as the dominant global reserve currency. This move towards de-dollarization has not gone unnoticed by former US President Donald Trump, who recently announced that under his potential future administration, countries moving away from the dollar would face severe economic consequences, including 100% tariffs on their goods. But aren't Republicans against taxes and interfering with the free market? This aggressive stance presents a paradox for Republicans who traditionally advocate for free market and lower taxes. Tariffs are essentially taxes on imported goods, and Trump's proposed policy directly contradicts the principle of free market economics. And then, further complicating matters is Trump's self-proclamation as the Bitcoin president, which creates tension with gold and silver investors who view cryptocurrency skeptically due to concerns about their traceability and centralization. Now, this is a little bit of a deep rabbit hole, since cryptocurrency is decentralized. That's the whole point of crypto and Bitcoin, is because it's decentralized. It's on a blockchain. The blockchain stores everything publicly. So yes, it's like disconnected from it. Like a central bank, it's one central bank goes outwards to the people. The blockchain is the exact opposite. It's outwards to go inwards. And if anything wants to change on the blockchain, everyone has to vote publicly. But it also stores every transaction publicly. That's why Jamie Dimon from JP Morgan, that's why they got caught with that Bitcoin scam thing they did, where Jamie Dimon came on all these news channels and called Bitcoin a scam. It shot Bitcoin down thousands of dollars on the spot as soon as he did that. And then he got caught buying millions upon millions of dollars in Bitcoin right after that. Well, how did we know that JP Morgan did that? Because every transaction is stored publicly. So They can't do shady stuff behind the scenes, which is like, it's a good for a lot of silver stackers. That's not a good thing because everything's public. It could be traceable, right? If you have someone's Bitcoin address, you can look at how much money they have, how much money's came in, how much money's come out. But it also is detached from a centralized system. So it's this weird, scenario where, like, if you store Bitcoin offline on a cold wallet, which I've been teaching people how to do this since 2016 because it's the safest way. Nobody can hack it. It's stored offline. Don't keep your Bitcoin on Coinbase or a platform. That's called a hot wallet. That means if Coinbase shuts their site off, your Bitcoin's gone. If you have your Bitcoin in a cold wallet stored offline, no matter what site shuts down, it doesn't affect it because your Bitcoin is in your own hands. It's kind of like leaving your gold in a vault somewhere compared to gold in your home. And if the company, that vault store or your safety deposit bank closes the doors or locks the door, your gold's inside the store. Same with Coinbase. If Coinbase shuts down, your Bitcoin's held on Coinbase is gone. Where if you use a cold wallet or an offline wallet or a hard wallet, it's yours completely and nobody can hack it. So that's the whole point. It's offline. Nobody, and the only way for someone to hack your Bitcoin would be to break into your house, steal your ledger, or guess the 16-word passphrase, and you're only allowed to be logged into one wallet at a time. So it's not like a hacker could hack your computer and get it because it's already. Anyway, that's a whole separate video. Just saying, with crypto, it's a little sketchy, especially since he's saying he's the crypto president. But Bitcoin or crypto and precious metals are very similar in the fact that they go against the dollar. So Trump's stance also seems at odds with this protectionist approach of the US dollar. The development of alternative payment systems such as the emergence project, or also called Project Enbridge, unit currencies involving BRICS, demonstrates the growing desire for financial independence from the dollar-centric system. Now, this is something that we need to look at. In October, the other thing that they're announcing is the BRICS currencies, the BRICS nations, is their currency called the unit. The unit is a digital currency backed by gold, silver, real assets, 40%, backed by 40%. What is our money backed by right now? Or what percentage? 0% backed by anything. So on October 1st, we're pushing a mandate, or supposedly, on October 1st, which central banks need to own 4.5% of tier 1 assets like gold. 4.5%. And that's trying to combat this new currency. So the de-dollarization thing is real. This isn't a myth anymore. There's actual situations that are going to be occurring that is actually happening, where the US dollar is losing its world reserve status. And since we know that gold and silver have a direct correlation to the dollar's strength, and if the dollar is starting to decline and people lose trust in it, that right there is directly going to affect the price. The only way someone could say silver won't do anything is if they genuinely think the dollar is going to strengthen and stay strong for the foreseeable future, which we know that is not going to happen. So if you debate with anyone saying, oh, silver is not going to do anything, you have to tell them, okay, you have to truly believe in your mind that over the next several years, the dollar is still going to strengthen. Countries are still going to have faith in it. Inflation is not going to do anything. The 98% purchasing power loss that we've had over the last 44% in the last 20 years alone, that's just going to stop. And that's the only way you could say gold and silver won't do anything. And nobody in their right mind thinks that. That's not possible. It literally is not possible. So just that alone. So let's scoot up here. So the recent execution of central bank digital currency cross-border transaction by UAE's RAK Bank further illustrates this trend. These developments highlight the complex and evolving nature of global finance. As BRICS plus economies unite challenge dollar dominance, they are facing significant hurdles in creating a viable alternative. However, the persistent efforts and growing coalitions suggest that some form of change in the international monetary system is likely inevitable. Situation presents a conundrum for U.S. policymakers and investors alike, balancing the desire to maintain dollar supremacy with the need for international cooperation and free market principles will be a delicate task. And that is a good point. It's like we are trying to save the dollar, but we also really don't like the dollar, so we're trying to switch to another position, which kind of fits the narrative of the enemy's position, but also could kick us or shoot us in the foot ourselves, which we've already done with this fiat-based system, trying to get ourselves out of debt by replacing it with more debt. It's like trying to pay off a credit card with another credit card, and we've caught up. And now the dollar's lost 90% of its purchasing power. We're $35 trillion in debt. We don't know what to do or how to do it, and it is a very, very, very delicate situation. As this BRICS summit approaches, the world will be watching closely to see what concrete steps these nations take towards creating a new financial order and how the US and other Western economies respond to this challenge, right? And I can tell you one thing, whatever the aftermath, the consequence of this is going to be bullish for precious metals. I'll tell you that. If I could say one thing that's going to come out of this, good or bad, there's one situation that this is screaming. The only inevitable situation that's screaming will happen for sure, which is bullish precious metals prices. So yeah, question, who would be better than Donald Trump? Answer, J.D. Vance. Interesting. So J.D. Vance, the author of Hillbilly Elegy, is now a U.S. Senator from Ohio, which I live in Ohio, advocates for a weaker dollar means revitalize American manufacturing and boost jobs, particularly in the Rust Belt region. Strong dollar makes American exports more expensive in the global market. He believes American-made products would become more competitive internationally. So Vance's position aligns with his background, commitment like addressing economic challenges forced by working-class Americans. Regions like Ohio, where he grew up in poverty. I did as well, but, when you work hard and you bust your butt for 10 years doing something, you can possibly get out of that poverty, like I did myself. Got tired of watching my mom live paycheck to paycheck. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to do something about it. So you can too. You can start a YouTube channel right now and whatever. Experienced job loss, economic hardship due to de-industrialization and globalization. His approach aims to address the economic struggles of regions like Appalachia, Midwest. Okay. Conclusion, weaker dollars also bullish for gold and silver. So yeah, what a good article. I like that they didn't shoot on one narrative or one situation too much. Like, he didn't over focus on one thing. He just stated what is happening, what's happening across the seas, what could potentially happen if these scenarios happen, what these policymakers from both sides have said in their stances, and if they stand on these stances, then how this would affect XYZ. I do like this article. They didn't go too deep into conspiracy theories or focusing on the wrong things. I think the astroturfing thing, he kind of went a little too far in. Because all you have to mention with astroturfing is like the dead internet theory. Like, there's a lot of bots on social media, and these aren't real bots, and the bots have a conversation with the bots, so it makes it look like there's real people, supporting this person, or they have this many followers, or that you could also spread controversy or hate or spread narratives with these bots. But that's all you had to mention. You didn't have to go into this huge thing about this, but regardless, I guess it is interesting to understand this stuff. It's just, it's very, like there's a whole book written on that alone. But anyways, yeah, I thought this was interesting. Let me know what you think. Also, remember, folks, to subscribe. I post daily videos. And if you wanted to also enter a silver giveaway coming up in 10 days, exactly 10 days, go check out patreon.com/silverslayer. It's the secret silver society. Every month, members get a chance to win silver. And there's like the discussion board. It's fun. Everyone talks to each other in there. And if you guys wanted to hit up Diana Zappa or ask me questions that you want to hear Sean answer, you can email me, info.silverslayer@gmail.com with the questions, or you could ask Diana herself. You could email her, dz@dollyvardensilver.com, or you can call her, 604-762-6388. Text her, call her. She really does have the craziest stories. She's in BC as well, British Columbia, Canada. Really, really nice lady. I've grown very close to her over the past few months. She's so cool, so nice, And she was like, yeah, I'd love to talk to your audience if anyone has. I was like, really? Like, that's awesome. So, yeah, take advantage of that stuff. Build some relationships out there. Anyways, yeah, I love you all. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was Silver Slayer. I will see you guys tomorrow. Peace.